Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing really well. My name's Eva, and I'm so grateful to have you here with me in this healing session. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone, if you are subscribed, make sure that you turn on the little bell notification so that you know when the new videos show up. And thank you so much for following and supporting the channel. There are so many ways to work together. If you're interested, you could check out the links below. I just posted a new trance light code healing on powerfully closing cycles and like really grounding physically and expanding physically into lighter, more easeful, more expanded, more loving timelines, but physically. And we've been talking in the videos about sort of merging the physical with this sort of spirit body consciousness, but really making this tangible. So this video is focused on like really, really deeply connecting to our guidance. I've been feeling a little, I don't necessarily want to say disconnected, but there does seem to be in the collective, because there is all of this, it's loud because there's just all of this sort of loud fear, and it is disconnection in the sense of like unplugging from lower or more dense realities, but like not quite emerging into that physicality of the higher or the more expanded dimensionality, the more loving, the more free, the more remembrance. That it kind of feels like the guides aren't with us, or you don't know what to do, or you just feel kind of adrift or lost or not sure where to go next. So we really want to just ground into the certainty of our reality in love. I'm feeling this most strongly coming through the divine feminine mother essence. So I like to work with the goddess Durga and the Buddha Tara and the Blessed Mother, but you should call in whoever you feel most resonant with. They are all different facets and emanations of this same energy. And really, what's coming through and has always come through me is this like claiming this for yourself, claiming this divine essence, this goddesshood for yourself. So we are connecting to this heart of the womb. And it's really, really strongly coming through also as clearing distractions. I've been noticing so much lately, these social platforms are like just, it's crazy. I mean, to reveal about my past, it's worse than cocaine. It's because it's not even fun. Like there's no benefit to it. It's just like all of this sub like conscious, like it's not even dopamine. I don't even know how to describe the way that it is addiction, but it's disgusting and it's so distracting from creativity. And this is like really, really, really getting back into the flow of divine feminine creativity. And this was coming through so strongly while I was recording the trance, like sort of towards the tail end of the trance meditation last night. And I have it in front of me. So it is really part of this like divine feminine resurrection. But there was a big message of like, we don't remember the true mother in our awareness, as you know, in this density that's falling apart, in the world we grew up in the world sort of since the beginning of this age, just has no awareness of the divine mother. We are here to sort of correct, not sort of, to correct and unify both polarities. But because the divine mother is completely unknown, like her representations are just incorrect. Like it just feels like the forgetfulness of it is so deeply ingrained, that the shadow, like the shade of it, is just nothing like the enlightened form. And these divine enlightened essences are just really, really coming through to show us their true face, to show us our own true face, because this is really the key that opens like true manifestation. There's a lot on the internet, and you can manifest continuously in the world of duality, but as I see it, we're here to transcend that. There will be a certain degree of duality because that's required for form, but it is a more enlightened duality, and the remembrance of the divine feminine essence is crucial for this, and it's crucial for actually creating. We don't really create here. We produce and project out of fear. We have like shades of remembrance of love, but we're really here to like truly reclaim the beingness of that love. And it is required to remember how the divine feminine essence really works. So this is very much a sacral womb healing as well. This is going to work regardless of your gender in your body, because there is this sort of energetic womb space, because we hold both polarities within us, and if you're a man, you were made of woman. Like it's so much more than just our bodies. And so it's just coming through as like really important. When we say these things to correct, it's not like an indictment of the old. It's not wrong to have participated in other representations of things, but it's time to let them go. It's not a cause for judgment. So she's really just coming through to say, there is no need for crying. There's no need for mourning. There's no need for disruption. Like, it is to be in full remembrance of how the mother creates, is to be in delight, is to be in joy. And that's not bypassing, because it burns away all that is false. Haven't you suffered enough? Haven't you suffered enough? Hia payasoti. So what comes through you is glorious perfection. Yourself, your true reality is glorious perfection. And the work as I see it is the journey to accepting that reality and really embodying the belief of that reality, to live without hesitation, to live without fear, to live without doubt. And this is what you are. This is what God would have you bring. We don't want to hide our light anymore. And we want to remember what it is to be truly ourselves. So yeah, if this resonates with you, you can stick around. And I do encourage you to check out the trance meditations. I'll link the new one, and all of them are always linked below. They're very, very powerful. I do believe that this, vocal code, the light language, is of this divine feminine resurrection. I do believe it is of this like sacred fire of the feminine. And so all of this work coming through me will be of that divine feminine resurrection, which isn't to say it's a negation of the masculine. It's required to have both. We really need to work on not defining things by their opposite. And I just saw something really cool. I just found out about this practice called primal movement. I downloaded their free course, but I haven't started it yet. But I was looking at some of their videos, and one of the coaches was talking about not like breathing through your belly, but breathing through the lower back. And I thought, how cool, because we've been starting all of our meditations that way, of just like really lighting up this energy in the lowest part of like your trunk, right? Like the lowest part of the midsection of your body, the base of your spine, and like breathing all that energy up through the center, up through the sacral, through the heart. Just allowing yourself to let go, allowing yourself to just be here, allowing yourself to be in beauty, allowing yourself to be in ease, allowing your blessings to come through you. Miana undiat, and to show up for you in the physical. Allow it. Let go of old narratives of spiritual learning. Let go of old narratives of fighting, of being a warrior, of what it means to have a spiritual life, of having to struggle. We are here to show the way of truth. We're here to follow Christ in life, not to death, to life. Naya sumayat uasi. Hinaini maya noru ita oso nataya. Kamayana unu tua taisa tairi. Shininaya samsa kinandaya tonim natri. Hu yakiana. Very beautiful energy coming through. Incredibly beautiful. All of this, I'm just seeing like Ireland. All of this, the tuata tababi simia nushamatria taini tisa umshirei to yokuat. All of this beautiful emerald light. Kimaya sumjiri tikini ta wusupspoa kayatain. Im nataya sunso konasha. Connecting to the divinity of the land, no matter where you are, everywhere you are is sacred. No longer qualifying things as more or less sacred. Even if you find yourself in a place that is quite dense or where people feel there's a centralization of people that are entertaining anger and fear and violence, and so, just incredible negation and separation and fear, that you understand that through your sight, through your acceptance of yourself as the being of Christ, as one with God, that you make that place holy. God is in everything I see, because God is in my mind. Don't withhold your holy sight from anything. I did probably some of my most awakening in the city of Philadelphia, which is quite dense. So I don't want to hear that you have to go to the top of Mount Shasta to receive spiritual awakening. You can do this anywhere. This is your choice. Sipiya takur. Not to say that if you want to go to Mount Shasta, go. But it's not fair to the earth to designate spiritual sites over other sites. We would see as one. We would remember the truth of all things. We would ask to receive the blessing of the center of everywhere that we are, so that we may know ourselves whole. To negate certain parts of the earth is to negate yourself, is to negate certain parts of yourself, and you will not integrate fully if you do that. Kimaya sansokorrukuiti ma shini kini kayana iri taworrukuit kinindriti si kaya sushapaya korain himaya sansitri kiana yorruiti amaya susorrukuitaya hin yariti korruito ruim natraisi. This is coming through, because we set the intention to powerfully connect to our guides, however you define that for yourself. If you think it is your higher self, if you think it's parts of yourself, if you resonate with angelic realms, light beings, ancestors, deities, whatever works for you in tending to know yourself whole, go for it. But to make sure that we are connecting to the highest guidance, that we are connecting to those that which have our fullest expression in their hearts. None that which would project your struggle. You don't need help with that. And movement is very important. I'm recording at that time of day when the sun comes down this way. That's why I look so washed out. Hitaisi kitaya soso rahi himayana yinin dietokoruk sipiotoko aosum hiti kiniti torukuit hi wosum yati yeki wuto wishipaya himai sio u kinindriti si kaya sunsotroinyat him yakoya korui payasaish hika toko ikaya kukua kaya kuika. Ha kuratukua, releasing from the throat and the womb, very connected. Troi tuyono sumzatishin ditio rukuis, sotroiti shupurun. Kindaratus, grace, grace, grace. Kinaini tianat. Let's settle into that for a moment. Divine Mother, show us what grace means through us, through our expression. Yanaini nyorum. Shaya sansanu toyoni tayani toyono toa. Maya snoashim saisio socorro kuinatu. Ri koyastoro hi kayasatu yeshi kaya natruamasansa. Sin sindri toyoshoriti. Remember the power of your mind. Remember the power of your sight. Remember why you came. You're not a slave. You're not powerless to what's happening in the world. You're not a victim of the world that you see. Don't surrender to, if you're going to surrender, surrender to the truth of one. Surrender to the truth of your co-creative power. And use it, I want to say correctly. Use it correctly to free the consciousness of this realm. You know, we see so many things these days of like, oh, New World Order or whatever is, you know, within those timelines, whatever we see, fear-based realities projecting in those war timelines, they're the same that they have ever been. They are just looping. We talk about karma. That's looping time. Would you give your power to continuing to project them? Or would you choose to see a different world instead? Would you choose to see peace? Would you choose to purify your being, your consciousness, so that you could offer peace through your sight? It's so powerful. We don't understand the power of our minds. We don't understand the power of enlightened perception. Let yourself be shown, but you have to give time to it in listening. Accepting miracle-mindedness for yourself. It is effortful in your mind because the autopilot is to project difference, separation, believing that the world exists outside of you, believing that you're powerless against things that seem to be coming at you. But you're not. And when those things do happen, when it appears that way and you feel yourself being sort of blown in the wind or caught in a storm, that you then center yourself, remember who you are, and ask God to show its power through you. Kimitio torukuin sotoko ashi kimayan satu. Tumahik orukui payushum sayat. Huimayiri torukui payisinti shinzayai kinindriti sikinindriti orukut. Hini kamum satraision soruitisision. Kaya sumza korruku atikinindriti sikiain satayushitayo korruitisisia. Shinitirindo korruiti sunsotruata initi ata unu yishamaiti kiati. There's a strong message coming through of like, when we said using it correctly, like don't misuse your power. The world of fear was made out of a misuse of the power of our minds. And someone commented on one of my posts that it seemed like I seemed angry. And I sat with that. You know, I don't negate things outright. I sit with it. I sit with the guides. And then it kind of reminded me of, I don't remember what I was talking about when she said that, but it reminded me of when Jesus went and flipped the table at the temple, because he saw a misuse of power in the name of God. And I don't mean to be judgmental when I comment on the way that I see other spiritual teachings or manifestation teachings. I bristle against a lot of those, even the use of that word, to describe what we're doing here, because it's just nothing like what other people are talking about. And that's not a judgment that it's evil or that it's any kind of condemnation. It's not. But there is, when you begin to see in much more unified realms than or that other people won't allow themselves to see in because they stop too soon, and then project that to others as if it is freedom. Yeah, that's rankling because it's not freedom. It will just continue to manifest in the realms of fear because you're not using the full extent of your power, and because we share that with everyone, it's what you offer to everyone. And you know, I don't want looping time. That is not what I would offer, and it makes me confused about why other people would want to offer that too. Especially those who would like don the title priestess for themselves, or like divine feminine energy, because as I see it, that's not what she has in mind for us at all. It's something much more. It's something much more beautiful. So it's not like I don't ever mean to offend anyone or judge anyone, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Don't stop there. It's not enough for you. It's not enough for them. They could do so much more, and with their massive followings, they could offer so much more to people. I wonder if they just don't understand that. You could have so much more. It's not creating more of this. It's something much more, much different. Allow it to be more. Allow it to be different. Allow it to be something you don't understand. When people talk about the divine feminine in the shadow or in the darkness, I don't like that. But it is in an unseen to our body's eyes, right? But it's not unknown. God is knowledge itself. You cannot have the goal to know yourself and then proclaim an entire aspect of God as unknowable or unknown. Piandara kurukina draya sunsoku kuiti shipia sansikiri kana draya napoto ayeti sitsayat. Hita uruku amainit. Hi uruku ipaya sansakini driti sinziosh. Satru kariti uruku apaya sunsokunatat. Kinandratisatsitishi. Hi uruku ititi ataya sunzoraitish. And this is directly related to creativity, because there's a lot of conditioning throughout time of the misuse of that word and the misuse of, or the conflation between projection and creation, production and creation, looping in karma, or popping off and extending into a new material form. For like short-term gains. You would be so much more abundant and provisioned if you really allowed yourself to know, in truth, what it means to be a co-creator. Hidayata korukui sapsayosham sakanandrikiti kiatauru toyotokoama insotroi shikinindrikisia. And so it is about a clarity of purpose. It's a clarity of goal. Kinaisio torukuaya tantra isoto aishi kinindriti sikiat horika yisum sokorukuiti kindi amaya tontokoatis. Shi yatiorui soto kinindriti sisiandratos. And it's about developing discernment. When we find ourselves becoming susceptible to messages or modalities that promise things that they can't deliver, or that other people have no business really saying that they could do for you or other people. Like, you have to choose this for yourself. And it doesn't help you to know yourself as a co-creator if you're asking someone else to do it for you. And we're not running out of time. It is creating more time. It's you make time. We project time. Time doesn't exist outside of our perception of it or our projection of it. We insist upon time. We are afraid to know ourselves outside of time. That's why the end of time is continually delayed. The purpose of the work is the end of time. It's to know yourself without a false idea of linear understanding. That scares the ego shitless. But as you do get scared, don't cling to then or more dense forms of like old world teaching. I don't really see that differently from just like further consciousness cages. Now you can't see me at all. Hiboruiti kitor kuin sondruiti sapsayoshi. Sinsi kinindruiti shimi toyoto konatri. Don't subject yourself to a cage. Don't seek another cage. Kinandriti sio sokoruiti shin under the guise of enlightenment. Some people call this false light. I'm not really interested in projecting further qualifications on something that we are here to release. Sitiya tokorukiniti. Let spirit do what it needs to do. Kitiya tokoruiti samshiki. Handraya tokoruiti siosorot. And I understand that people are at different parts of their journey of understanding. You will use what you need to use while you are going through certain lessons, but don't stop yourself. Don't stop short of enlightenment because you are still running around in attachment to having things be a certain way or what you think you need to do to be physically secure. Kia takorukui paya sunsui shimikinayon tokorukui sipsiata. Mandriti sisiati shin sitroiti shitriki oruiti sipsitriti sian. Kia oruiti piasaya kinataya sotsotrot. Sotsot. Kamaya Sansakiri. This is not a hobby. This is an entire commitment to changing your mind. It's not a hobby. It should be fun, but it's not a hobby. It is a full commitment. And the full commitment is required to really see the effect. I think we're going to stop this here. This certainly was not what I was expecting it to be. But I trust that when I intend for certain things, sometimes, that is the work of sort of interdimensionally disentangling things we sometimes don't know. I mean, that's why we go to other people to help us, right? Sometimes we don't understand how things are connected, something seemingly really unrelated is actually kind of reinforcing what we're trying to heal from or what we're trying to step out of. But right now, especially in this moment of self, this moment on like the timeline or where we are on Earth now, it's very important that we choose freedom. Because we are at, if you've heard the term reset, there is always a possibility to repeat lessons. There is not going to be something grand from outside of yourself that comes to save you. It is coming from your choice to know yourself from inside yourself, the divine inside yourself, God within you. So, the choice for fear won't be taken away from you from outside. You have to choose to give it up. And that's something I don't think people talk about enough. Even healers that I really resonate with and I think are beautiful and I love and I've worked with will talk about the infiltration of evil into our consciousness. You will never heal. I'm sorry. You will never heal if you continue to subscribe by that narrative. This is the time now to understand what it means actually to have the power that we have. If you were a being that could be invaded and your choice negated completely from something, a power outside of yourself, then what is God? If there's a power outside of God that could come against God, how could you ever heal? So really, it's not like an angry tirade against other people's teachings. It's like, let's look at some uncomfortable philosophical beliefs, because that's what's perpetuating the physical world that we live in. If you really believe yourself to be vulnerable to attack from something outside of yourself, anything outside of yourself, then you're going to continue to repeat those narratives. And that's not what God would have us do. That's not what Christ would have us do, to know ourselves. And that's not how we remember ourselves. That's not how we save the world. That's not how we expand into remembrance of ourselves. I just believe this more strong, that this is the origin of separation consciousness that we're talking about, right? This false narrative that hides the truth that we made a choice to experience ourselves as something other than we are, other than God, and this is the effect. The entire world since the beginning of time is the effect of that choice, and it just repeats and echoes and bounces off the walls of its own limits. But that's the dream, that's samsara, that's not real. And it can end. Don't condemn yourself to continuous learning of lessons that you could very easily learn if you put your trust, if you put your identity in the right place. And it's a practice, and that's what time is for, and that's why we do it together. I'm going to end this here because this is much longer than I thought it was going to be. I hope that you all have a really blessed evening, or whatever time of day that you're watching this. Again, if you want to go deeper into the work, many ways to do so. I hope that you all are doing very well. It's hard not to look at what's going on in the world. I myself struggle with what to ignore completely and what we should be aware of. I think, as much as it might not have seemed that this healing was to reconnect to our highest guidance, it is to clear all that we were paying attention to. And even if you stopped doing that in your physical life that you're holding on to, or the ancestors or the genetic record, anything you're holding on to throughout interdimensional existence that would end collectively, because we share one life, that would be inhibiting you from hearing the highest guidance when fear is incredibly loud. So I hope that this is helpful to you. I would love to hear what you have to say either way in the comments. God bless you all, and I will see you next time.